Next thing I know, I'm jumping out a shorty window in front of a bus stop full of people, son.
Yo, y'all should do a podcast for real.
Yo, but like, what would we call the podcast though?
Boy, I don't even know, but it got to be something that represents us. Look, man. So here's the thing. All right, fellas, we back for another one.
Yes, sir.
Episode 33.
Episode 33, we here, man. You know, mental health check first, of course. Stiz, how you doing, bro?
You know we straight over here on these ends, bro.
Glad to hear it. What's up, too?
I'm good, brother. Another day. God woke me up. I'm good.
Yes, sir.
How you?
I'm good, man. God woke me up. As
JP
always.
good?
JP good. All right, let's get into it. All right, my brothers. You know, I just wanted to come here another week, have a conversation with y'all. You know, I really love living through y'all sometimes with y'all stories and all of that. You know what I'm saying? We had different experiences. So, you know, I just wanted to take it back to high school a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Transit.
Some years back. You know what I'm saying? So, my experience was a little bit different because I didn't go to high school in New York. Y'all went to high school in New York. So
I didn't go to high school in New York the whole time either, though.
Oh, okay. I ain't know that. But what high school did y'all go to? And just tell me a little bit about y'all high school. Like, you know, what was the view of your high school to others? Like, you know, other high schools and other people and stuff like that. And overall, just how was your experience overall?
Well, I started high school in East New York Transit Tech High School. You know what I mean? Shout out to Transit. Our perception of our school was exactly what it was. 70% niggas, 30% women. Cause that's what it was. And then I went to Westover High School, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Shout out to the Westover Wolverines where I played football.
Oh, interesting.
And the perception of that school was that was the black school in Fayetteville.
That's where you graduated from?
No, I actually ended up on my very last year coming back. My senior year coming back to Transit and coming back to New York. So I went back to Transit and graduated from Transit.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Dope. What about you two? I mean, Stiz?
I went to Prostitute Heights.
Oh, Prospect.
You said prostitute?
Yeah, so
That's Prospect.
in Crown Heights right there on Clausen. I was supposed to go to Boys and Girls because that was my zone school, but thank God for that too, by the way.
We'd have been in prison.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna ask y'all, was it based off of what was close to you? Or
Nah,
my mom's forced me to go to Transit.
I took a test, and I came from a performing arts middle school, so
Shout out to the 143. You know how we give it up. You
143. So the natural progression is to go into a performing arts high school. And I took the test to go to one of them like gifted high schools, but I failed the shit out of that. So I ended up at Prospect Heights.
I took the test to go to an all girl high school. They didn't give a fuck about my scores. I'm not joking, by the way. That was my number one pick.
And then,
But what was it? Oh, I tried to go to Canarsie because I wanted to play football for Canarsie. Also, my other close friend, shout out to the chief, was going to Canarsie. So we was all trying to get in there. And it's like the God came together and said, we gonna keep all these niggas separate.
yeah, because at one point that was on the docket. Like
We were all supposed to go to
we was all
Canarsie.
supposed to go to Canarsie because so went to Canarsie. He was the furthest, and we kind of wanted to get out the hood.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Because a lot of things happen on that trip to and from school. But like I said, thank God.
I heard Canarsie was the high school, at least.
No. Canarsie
No.
is the
What I'm
hood.
saying,
We want
like
to get out of Bed-Stuy.
We want to get out
Or
of
the areas we frequent. Like we frequent Bed-Stuy and surrounding
Because
areas.
you remember
Like,
I
just wanted
told
to
you
get out your area.
Bed-Stuy niggas at that time didn't really go anywhere because everything is in walking distance or a quick bus ride or whatever.
Like we go
So
to
Canarsie,
Bushwick, we go to like Browns, like places we can get to without really having to maneuver too much out the hood.
Facts.
We go, but it's harder when, like, put it like this: we only went to Canarsie for bitches.
Gotcha.
Like outside of school, if we would have got into Canarsie, we only went to Canarsie to fuck with Canarsie bitches.
yeah, like that little, and then like I said, I was trying to say that ride to and from is important because you go to the junction Like I remember like going to Prospect Heights. The fastest way there is you hop on the C, you go to the Franklin Ave, hop on the shuttle, you right there. But then fucking with my friends and shit that used to live in the East or live in Queens, nigga, I used to go all the way around, like go to Broadway Junction just to come back on the J line, because you get opportunities to see so much other shit. Because until then, we was going to school up the block, going to school in the neighborhood. So until then, like we ain't really seen too much shit on our own. So we took that. So when you hear the slogan like "we outside," that's where that came from, because we really like outside. You know what I mean?
We was there when it was dangerous to go to the junction after 3 p.m.
Yeah. I feel you.
He was likely to end up robbed
Or thrown down them steps.
thrown down that escalator to heaven. Like I've seen a nigga get jumped the whole escalator ride up. And if you live in New York, you know that's a long escalator ride up.
That's a fact. Yeah, me personally, I went to I started out in New York for a week. I went to Midwood High School for a week, and then to my surprise, we ended up moving to the Poconos. They just sprung that on me. So then I went out there. It was a good transition. That shit was like a college campus. Like, it was like multiple buildings, like 5 or 6 of them all on one campus, but the shit was mad big, or whatever the case may be. And I took the cheese bus. Like, we ain't have public transportation and all of that. I was telling y'all before, like, you need a car out there in the Poconos, so we was forced to ride the cheese bus, which was a different experience, but overall it was a good experience. It was cool. You know what I'm saying? Opened my eyes to different things and stuff like that. So yeah.
What I will say is I'm very glad that that same experience you got was the same experience I got in North Carolina, because again the school was fucking damn 10, 12 miles from my house. So I had to take the goddamn cheese bus to school. That was the first time I ever like took the cheese bus in my life, because in New York, school trips, they don't get buses, you get on the train.
Right.
Nigga, in New York, the cheese bus mean a whole different thing.
That's a fact.
In other states, that cheese bus is your only means of transportation.
Right.
In New York, that cheese bus means you ain't mentally all the way there.
That's a fact. So like when I went down south, I had to start taking that, and like you said, it was like that. Like the school was separated into like 4 or 5 buildings. Like there was one building for just the auditorium and the gym.
Right.
And I was like, I've never seen a gym this big in my life.
Yeah, saying we got our basketball court.
Like our football field was huge. Like it was crazy. So I was very happy to have that experience, just because it was different than what I knew.
Was y'all, when y'all was younger? Random question. When y'all was younger, was y'all one of them dumbasses out the cheese bus just doing dumb shit to people in the street?
Yeah, when we went on them school trips, I never forget, niggas used to throw like sub sandwiches and shit out the window. Like shit at cars. Yo, funny thing is, y'all watch the NWA movie?
Yeah.
Remember that scene in the beginning of the movie when Ice Cube was on the bus and them niggas saw like the blood niggas riding. It was Compton Menace, I think, when they was riding in the car next to the bus and they throwing up seeds and all that shit, doing wild shit.
Yeah.
I'm surprised none of that never happened. Not on that type of level, but like niggas ain't just pull a bus over and start wilding, because shit we used to be throwing was insane, bro. Glass bottles at cars, all type of wild eggs.
Fucking eggs, yeah.
Like that shit was crazy.
Yeah. Alright, cool. So when y'all was in high school, high school there's different cliques, you know what I'm saying? Different cliques and like different a way you would like classify a person. So like what clique was y'all a part of? Cause y'all had like the jocks, y'all had the popular kids, the cool kids, you had the emo kids, you had the smart kids and all of that. So in high school, who did y'all run with and like why? Like how did you get involved in?
I could answer you honestly, and this is not like trying to brag or nothing, but I was the guy. You know how that you got those kids that are like floaters, so that you kind of see them with everybody. That was me. Yeah. Cause like the niggas who was popping, they knew who I was. I hung with them. I chilled with them. The niggas who got it rocking that you knew not to fuck with because they'll fight, I roll with them. The little nerd niggas, I always tried to roll with them and keep them around, because like, I wouldn't have made it through high school without them. I had niggas, one nigga did all my English homework for 2 years. Like, I I kind of roll with everybody. Like I treated everybody the same, and I like that because you active enough that the niggas who need to know you. But because you move around so much, the girls don't know who you are really like that. Right. And that's the best thing, at least in my opinion. That's the best thing.
Right. Because
that means all your fuck shit is unknown to them.
Yeah, you can move low.
You can move low and catch a lot of sneaky kills, which I did.
Yeah, facts.
In high school, I used to move like... Alright, so quick disclaimer. My high school was a startup high school in Prospect. One of 5. Including the old Prospect Heights. So my freshman year was the last year of Prospect Heights. So at first, a performing arts high school is exactly what it sounds like. Majority women, well, majority girls, you know what I mean, minority boys. So in my graduating class, and it's going to sound crazy, but we had 12, no more than 12 niggas graduated. Because that's the whole class. Okay. It was like 80 girls though. So the crowds that was there is like we had lunch with. At first we had lunch with another school, but then whatever. I ran with the niggas that I ran with, but we was at the time all of it. We was the cool niggas because we was hanging around the girls. The girls, we was the only niggas, so the girls just hung around us. You know what I'm saying? Or we was like, the girls like some of us, or whatever the case may be, so we just around. And then, nigga, like as time went by, niggas started getting in gangs. You know what I'm saying? So, we was on that type of energy, so we ran like, kind of like what he said, it was like, we was the floater, but we was the nucleus of the floaters. So we was there, like, in everything.
Gotcha.
How about you? That campus shit gotta sound crazy.
That campus shit. It's similar too. So I was a floater. I was cool with everybody. When I went in there, like I'm not really like I'm not the most like sociable person. So like people gotta kind of like gravitate towards me. So when I got there, like people see a new nigga, so they're like, yo, like they ask this regular questions like, yo, what's up, where you from, or whatever the case may be. So I'm like, I'm from Brooklyn. So that was like gold for them. Like they was just like, oh, he's from Brooklyn, so like they was like kind of on me from the start, like and at that time, mad people from New York was moving to PA, so you had a big mixture of people from the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens. It was mad of us in there for freshman year, whatever the case may be. So, I went there, and the first week, I couldn't find a place to sit in the lunchroom. The shit was mad big, but like. You could tell the shit was like divided with like the groups and shit like that. So I knew I had to like find my way and kind of get myself into a group. So the way I did it was kind of funny because I came up. I'm always talking about basketball, but I tried out for the basketball team. So remember I said that shit is mad big. So we had 2 separate gyms. But if you was already on the team previous, like in junior high school out there, they put you in one specific gym because that basically meant that you're already like on the team. And then if you was in the next gym, that means you was working your way up to get there. So I went to a gym where you got to work yourself up to, and I did my thing. I was killing or whatever the case may be. So after practice, I was on the cheese bus, and me and this kid that was at the basketball camp too, me and him got off the train and the bus, and we started kicking it while we was walking home or whatever. So he started talking about, yo, you heard about this nigga named Brooklyn? So he not knowing that's me. That's the nickname that they gave me when we was balling. So he was
Why
like,
they always do that? Why they always name you where you from?
Yeah.
So he was like, you heard about this nigga Brooklyn? I'm like, nah, I ain't heard about him. I'm like, why? What's up with him? He was like, yo, they gassing his head like he wild nice or whatever. He was in the he was playing in the regular gym, like you probably saw him. I was like, oh word. I was like, yeah, it was mad people killing him, but like I can't tell who was that. He was like, yeah, like I'm gonna bust his ass, like when I see him, when I meet him, or the case may be. So I'm like, all right. So then my house was first, so he dropped me off there. I had a basketball hoop, so he was like, yo, let's play some more, like let's practice or whatever. So we played, and I beat him. My son TJ, shout out TJ. So at the end, when he was about to go home, I was like, oh, by the way, I'm Brooklyn. So then he started dying. He was like, yo, my fault. Like, I was talking shit. I'm like, nah, it's cool. It's cool. I was just letting you rock, whatever the case may be. But that's how I got into his lunch table. So, like, he kind of put me on because we lived in the same community. So after that, me and him just became cool. And he kind of guided me, whatever the case may be.
I'm glad you actually brung that up simply because this talks about my Westover High School experience. No bullshit. I went in there and I saw the scenes because it's a mixture. Like, there's a lot of black kids in my high school, but it's also like white dudes. Mind you, I'm coming from a spot where transit, like most schools in the inner city, it's a majority everything else and like a few like actual white kids unless you go to school in the city, like in Manhattan. So like my school in transit, we had like, I'm talking about like literally in my graduating class, it was like maybe like 4 actual like white people, like white kids, and everything else was just Spanish, black, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. And then when I got to Westover, it was like a good 50-50. Like Spanish people did not exist really. It was mad either white or black, and that's really what it was. Like it was a few Spanish, but there was very few far in between. But so when I got there, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of was ready to treat it like jail. Cause my only experience in high schools like this was all I saw in movies. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, the big white bully nigga gonna come through and I'm gonna knock his stupid ass the fuck out. That's the first thing. And I saw who it was my first day. Mm-hmm. I saw, like, that was the first time I saw a nigga get put in a locker. I didn't know that shit was real. And I saw him put this little nerdy black kid in the locker, and I said, "Oh, I'm going to kill this nigga." Yeah. I was like, my goal was to go to the lunchroom, find him, and just stall on him. I was like, let me set this precedent now. Oh, it ain't working. Nah, my boy Vance. Shout out to Vance. Vance is a black guy, but he held me down because he saw me about to do that. Was like, yo, chill, bro. You ain't gotta do all that. But the experience was exactly as you said. I'm very quiet to myself, so I was chilling. I was just chilling. I ain't really do much. I went to my classes or whatever. So they wound up just calling me New York.
Yeah. Yeah, that shit happens everywhere.
And then, because, at that time, the way they dressed down there and the way we dressed in New York was very different.
Yeah, you could definitely tell.
So when I came to school, you know what I mean, I'm dressing like how we dress up in New York. I come down, they like, I drew attention, basically. Mm-hmm. And then they started calling me New York, and we had a good time or whatever. And then my boy Vince put me on a lot of things. And I ended up kicking it with a lot of people. Like, literally my first week, I bagged like 3 chicks. My first week. Not even trying. Like, I was just going to class. Then I tried out for the football team, and I don't know if you know, football in the South is amazing. Yeah. So being on the football team
that's a big deal.
Definitely helped me.
Yeah,
but it was cool.
Yo, what's crazy is hearing y'all say that shit. First off, I was always envious of being in that situation, like being in a situation where, like, in those type of areas, you know what I'm saying, where you only got the Walmart to chill at after school, or
that's
you
a
got
fact, bro.
or you got the mall, whatever the case is. So you chill, you pick up shorty at the, like, picking up the girl to go to school, like that's a real part of your day, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't had none of that shit. And the crazy misconception about high school, now that we talking about like how like Tu said how he started, shout out my boy Snoop. The only thing that I was nervous about going into high school was that freshman Friday shit.
Yeah, that shit was real in my school.
See, that's the thing. Yeah. I went in there with that
shit is real in every school.
I went in there with the energy like, yo, let one of these niggas try me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, that's why I said shout out my son Snoop, because me and Snoop got in with this nigga, the upperclassman nigga named Terrell. My son Slater, he was a cool nigga. Like, he took us under the wing type shit. And even then, I wasn't trusting it because like I said, I'm watching movies. I heard the upperclassmen niggas would like fuck with you for a little bit, but on Friday, they lead you to a washing you'll never forget. Mm-hmm. So I always was like nervous and wary about it. But that shit never happened. And that nigga became like one of my cool niggas to that, like, really like stay under his wing type shit, like to lead, just to figure this shit out. Because once I figured that shit out, I stepped on my own. I was gone. But like coming from like like I said, coming from a shelter junior high, you get into that environment. Know what I'm saying? Like I ain't know how to talk to certain niggas. I ain't know how to get in with certain crowds. So it was just me and Snoop back to back. Just, know what I mean, holding our own type shit.
Yeah.
That shit, I'm envious of y'all situation though, cause I always like see the movies like Degrassi and shit. I always wanted a Degrassi high school.
That's exactly how I describe my high school.
That's
like,
how it was.
Yeah, a lot of shit that happened in that show really happened in high school. So
yeah, I could imagine, man. I seen enough shows. Like when I visited my cousins in Kentucky, it was the same thing. Cheese bus come pick everybody up. If you miss that shit, you just gotta walk 20 miles.
yeah.
Like that's just really how it was.
Works.
Or you be late.
All right, so throughout your high school experience, throughout school as a whole, shit comes up. So, we knew people and stuff like that. We was popping or whatever the case may be. What's the craziest rumor or story that you heard about yourself that was floating around the school? And then how did you handle it? Did you address it at all?
That I fucked the whole entire female track team. In reality, I only fucked 10 girls on the track team, not the whole track team.
Well, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Listen, man, I thrived.
I could see why they said the team.
I thrived.
The biggest rumor for me was that I lied on my shit. And the crazy part is I didn't.
You said you did?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't.
Like that was the craziest shit. Like the craziest shit to me was that Shorty was embarrassed because me and a couple of my friends, like the way it popped out, I get why she like went, oh, that nigga lying. You know what I'm saying? Because that's wild. That was wild embarrassing. Like we vibing. This was like coming on to senior year because again, by this point, niggas knew not to play with me with other shit. I've established my reputation in other things. At this point though, Shorty just was like, I'm re-riding together, me and my homeboys. I'm in my mom's car at the time. And we just like something happened. We all just say, yeah, I did that shit. And we was like, what the fuck? Like it was a certain feature or a certain thing that you wouldn't know unless you were there. Or you didn't know she did it unless she did it to you type shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm like, oh shit, y'all niggas did that shit? Yada. Nigga. Now you hear is, yo, this nigga Maine lied on that. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm hitting Shorty like, yo, you know we did that shit. And that's when I developed the whole up down count his head. She's like, yo, I started that and then we had sex. I'm like, nigga, you did 7 up downs. That's head.
Up downs.
This nigga love his up downs.
That's funny.
Well, yeah, that's like the wildest shit. Other than that,
like funny enough for me, back to that track team shit. Remember Shorty that called in last week, Tia?
Yeah, toxic.
Shout out to Tia. I went to high school with Tia.
Okay.
She was in my high school. I had to fuck her boyfriend up in high school because I was fucking this girl on the track team that was his man's girl. And then for some reason, her nigga wanted to fight me because of his man's. So I beat the shit out of him. But that was a different thing. But my second point about that was the only scandal, I would say, it was not even like a rumor. It was like a scandal. It was that I had. This was when I was in transit, actually. I think I told a story before, but pretty much one of my guys at the time, he started fucking with the shorty that I knew. And like I knew her and was friends with her way before I knew him. Like he came to the school late. Like he was newer to the school. So whatever happened, I knew at the time she was a virgin or whatever. So then he came and he like, yo, she let me kill yesterday. So I go, oh, all right, cool, whatever. Now I'm gonna admit where I fucked up. She me and her got Spanish class or some shit, so we talking or whatever, and she like, oh, yo, she like, oh, yeah, da da da. We talking and she's like, yeah, I'm still a virgin, da da da. I don't know how that came up, but it came up. So I go, fam, you ain't got to lie to me, bro. And she like, what the fuck you talking about? And I'm like, you ain't got to lie to me. It's me, my nigga. Like, I know. And that's where I fucked up. That's the only part I fucked up on, because I should just dropped it and not said nothing.
Right.
But I didn't, and I'm like, nigga, I'm like, what? She like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yo, man's told me I did whatever yesterday.
Yeah.
And then what happened was, like a nigga, he handled it how he was supposed to, which was he kept his girl and was like, yo, that nigga Corey lying, that nigga just hating on us and yada yada yada. So the rumor became, I just lied on him about fucking her because I was jealous of their relationship. And then as a nigga, like, I saw him in the hallway, and like literally 2 periods later, I saw him in the hallway. I tried to give him a pound. He just swung on me. He missed, and then we got into a little scuffle, but nothing really came of it. Yeah. And then ever since then, we just ain't fuck with each other. And I was mad the whole time, because I'm like, yo, fam, I wasn't mad because at the end of the day, granted, when she brung it up, I should have dropped it. But my issue was that everybody, like a lot of our circle, stopped fucking with me for a little while. And nobody was mad that he lied, because he told all of us he fucked. And then when his shorty came, it was like, nah, Corey just lying. Everybody looked at me funny and never not addressed the fact that he told all of us that he fucked her. We was all there. That shit bugged me. But, you know, fuck that nigga though.
Word. I had 2 instances. One where it was actually true, and then the other was the lie. So the true one was, I told you it was like the shit was like a soap opera, that screw. So somebody made a Facebook page, and each day they would post somebody's picture, like there's somebody from the school, and then they would like in the comments like put a story or something that they heard about them there. And, you know, everybody in the school could see it, so like everybody was commenting under it and shit, and then like, you know, like pressing niggas in school like, yo niggas seen that shit that you did. So the rumor about me was that I used to catch neck in the car before basketball games by this cheerleader, and it was true. But the only reason why I denied it was, number one,
you're a real nigga.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't
why expose that and now stop getting that?
Yeah, you know, why expose her? Number one. Number two, I'm private at the end of the day, so even if something is true and it has no effect like on my well-being, and if I ain't have a girl at the time, so it really would have did no damage to me, but that's just like how I like to move. Like, I don't like people in my business, so that's why I denied it. And then the second reason is because she had a boyfriend, and he went to our rival high school, Pocono Mountain East, and I didn't want no smoke with him, honestly, because this nigga ran with the wrong people. You know what I'm saying?
Nigga Dre said, I am not about that life. I'm okay.
He ran with the wrong people.
Know what I'm saying? You gotta know yourself. Nigga, he looked like Lloyd Banks.
Oh, Dre, you was friends back then.
He looked like Lloyd Banks, so I wasn't trying to fuck with it. So I just denied, but that shit was actually true. That's the first girl that sucked my that's the first girl that told me I'm gonna make you come, and she didn't. And we went at it like multiple times.
I picked the A$AP Rocky song. Wasn't this one?
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
I was just making sure. That's me.
The second one was one day in my community we broke into a abandoned house. It was 2 girls and like 5 guys or whatever the case may be.
Look at the shit y'all had to do.
We just in there just being dumb, just, you know, destroying shit, doing dumb shit. So we was down, like 4 of us was downstairs, and then 2 of them went upstairs. So then we went upstairs into the room, and we walked into one of the rooms, and my son, he was catching neck from one of the shorties, and he was recording it. So then he put the camera up and pointed at us, so we're in the video now. And then it just stopped from there. Like, we walked away so he could finish doing what he was doing. The next week, the video got out to everybody. He actually sent it to everybody.
I was about to say, he a foul nigga.
He sent it to everybody in the school, and, you know, trying to fuck with her and, like, you know, call her a hoe and stuff like that. And the rumor behind that was because we was there, we ran the train on the bitch. I'm like, yo, Y'all just seen me in the video. How y'all assuming shit? Like
That could have went left, bro.
Yeah, I just said that in my head.
She could have got upset by that, said they did X, Y, and Z to me, and y'all niggas would have been on first 48.
Putting me in a vulnerable position, but you know, I cleared that up quickly, expeditiously. But that,
I only know how dangerous that is because that happened to one of my mans in junior high school.
And then the dean got involved.
You know about that shit, right, Stiz?
Yeah.
Like, that shit happened to one of my men. Like, Shorty was doing whatever, but because people found out and she ain't want to look a certain way, she just was like, nah, that nigga forced himself on me. And it was a crazy situation.
That was crazy.
That reminds me, too. Like, I always wanted to have sex with one of my teachers.
Miss Bedwell.
That's actually on my... Well, no, it's not anymore. I was going to say that's on my list, but not anymore.
Why, you did it or you just...
I wanted to.
Oh,
that's something I want to do, but school is done. You know what I'm saying?
No, I still go find Miss Bedwell.
I fuck a doctor. I fuck a doctor from MSK. Or a nurse.
Hey, man.
But
whatever you do in your relationship.
I'm in a relationship.
Yeah, I was about to say. There's going to come a time.
Vivian Tabar.
Is there a girl...
Holla at me.
Tripping. Oh, man.
Are there any girls that you went to high school with that y'all fronted on initially that had the ultimate glow up now?
Yes. Mad at them.
God, son.
Mad at them. Mad at them.
Pick one.
Suki.
And why did you front on her?
I didn't front on her. She wasn't on my radar. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wasn't on my radar, bro. This girl blew up. I'm like, it's funny because niggas look out, like, now I just look at her like, yo, she fire, but it is what it is at this point. You know what I'm saying? But like, at that point, I was just, like I said, I was out here running around doing all type of wild, crazy shit. There's a couple of them actually. Now I'm thinking about it, but that, like, she just most stand out one because I know her attitude. She happens to be from Barbados as well, so I know the vibes with her. So she cool as shit. It's just like the glow up was insane, and she wasn't bad then. It's just like I said, I didn't pay her no mind.
Yeah, facts. My situation was very similar. Like, the shorty for me, it was one of those, like, I was a senior, she was a junior type shit. But she might not even been a junior. She might have been like a sophomore. If I'm not mistaken, I think she was a sophomore because she's 2 years behind us. And she was like on my heels. Like, one of those, like, you ever had like a little young girl on you, but she just like kind of like follow you around type shit?
Mm-hmm. Nah.
Like, it was one of those, like, alright, you ever had a girl, one of the younger class of the girls go and be like, oh, that's my boyfriend?
Oh yeah.
It was one of those type shits. And I just found, like, I used to indulge in, like, yeah, whatever, but then keep it pushing. Like, I paid her no attention. So I never really made a move. I never tried to bag. I never tried to talk. I just kind of ignored her. Like, we was cool at school. I laughed with her and then let it go. And then I ran into her later and I said, oh, man, I should have killed that.
Yeah, man, it happens.
Shout out to all the joints that blew up from high school, man.
Yeah,
there's some fire joints in high school that went sour too.
Yeah,
like they definitely passed their expiration date.
That too.
Definitely, but funny thing is that's probably one of the biggest things I like tell my past self if I could go back. Like, yo, stay close to this one. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And again, because of high school and we passed that, I know more or less where you at in life. And most of them I don't even speak to them. You just see them like as Facebook friends, and it's all love. Like, I'm not even on that type of time no more with them. You know what I'm saying? It's just like one of them, you know what's funny? Because we'll get up. Me and my niggas will get up from high school. We'll just be like, yo, remember this, that, and the third, or remember how she looked, We'd be like, yo, we'll reminisce that way. But as to like slide down on them now, that's not even on. To me, I don't think that's on any of my niggas' minds. Mm-hmm. I could be wrong though, because niggas will say that and then they be in these girls' DMs and shit. Yeah. I don't look at it that way. Shout out to Rochelle though. She definitely had nigga.
I mean, I had one too, like a couple, but I had a situation where I just had a connect. I had like a connection with a girl because we was both Panamanian, so she would always like that was like her talking point. That was always what she would lead with. Like
Panamanian?
Yeah.
Find out some new shit about you every fucking couple months on this podcast.
That was like her talking point. She was like, "Oh, we're Panamanian." The case may be. I didn't know she was like trying to hit on me or whatever the case may be, but it's just the way that she developed makes me think back now. But now she a supermodel.
Oh, she grew into her features, is what you saying?
Yeah, she definitely grew into her features.
Oh
she's
my God, that
supermodel.
me. That remind me of this one girl in high school. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say her name because I'm still trying to get it, but she definitely like she was always cute, but she was always really tall and really skinny. But she was always cute, and I had like a slight thing for her, but I let it. I never pushed. And then I see her now, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like she's a legit model, and I'm like, son, wow.
Yeah, that was my problem because she was skinny, and I didn't appreciate that at the time. I was always an ass man, and she didn't have an ass. But as you get older, you start to appreciate different features and stuff like that. So,
Slim Jones grew on me.
And funny shit, like now I'm thinking like past the whole like, what's that shit called? Is superficial shit, whatever. Past that surface shit, some of these girls, that nigga said I'm a side nigga. Some of these girls really like grew, like their personalities in high school was like so sheltered because of their parents or whatever. So when they grew up and got that ounce of freedom, they just became like cool ass, like girls that you had on the hit list. They just naturally became like fire to just be around. Like I got a girl from high school that work at my job now. That in high school, she was on the target list for a lot of niggas that I know personally. I don't know if they ever accomplished it. I doubt it. But now, like me and her, when we see each other or when we talk to each other, it's just like vibes. It's like good vibes. We just love. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's a thing.
I only got like 2 more questions, and then we get on our way. Are y'all still cool with y'all friends from high school? Like most of them, or did those relationships fade off?
What do you mean by cool?
Well, I mean the people that you was the closest with in high school, like your best friends and all of that. Are y'all still best friends now?
Well, I didn't have best friends in from high school. Like all my dudes that was my dudes been my friends since like not elementary school but like middle school.
Okay.
And even when we separated and went our ways, like we still friends to this day. But like in high school, I made some close friends. Like I got some close friends, and it's one of those like. Those are the few people I follow on. And like, 'cause my thing is, I don't believe in following people that I used to go to high school with on Instagram and Facebook. I usually ignore most of the friend requests. But if I really messed with you, I'll follow you. Gotcha. And like maybe like 2 or 3 people, like I got their number still, and we'll text from here and there. But we don't really like chill, hang out no more like that. And that's recently. Like some of them after high school. Like shout out to my man Manny. Manny was my guy. That was my guy. Like we stayed cool well after high school, and then just life kind of made us separate. But that was my guy. We was cool in high school. We stayed cool after that. But like everybody else, nah.
Like I told you, bro, my high school was 12 niggas deep. Out of those 12 niggas, I'm still cool with a good majority of them. You know what I'm saying? My boy Snoop, my boy Mike, my brother Diddy. It's all love, like, you know what I'm saying? And we really like built the, because again, that experience was so different because the school was new. So we literally, it wasn't like you see how you went to Poconos East?
West.
You see how you went to Poconos West? So the culture of the school was there. Like y'all had rivals. Yeah. Y'all had all that shit. Nigga, we was there. Our rivals was not to get beat up by or punked by anybody in the school because we knew. So we built a bond together that's forever. Like we FBE tatted. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, we locked in. Cause those is my niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like we grew up together. We became men together. We got introduced to a lot of things a lot of experiences around the same time because those is the niggas that you don't forget those type of niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like those is real niggas, man.
I feel you.
I still locked in with my boys, man. Shout out to the squad, man. Y'all know how I go.
Yeah, I'm still locked in with a couple people out there. I fell off with a lot of people since I moved back to New York. Naturally, you know, the communication just slowed down a little bit. But, you know, I still keep in touch with most of them. But, like...
my fault, bro. Shout out my boy Mello. Shout out my boy Mello. That's a real nigga, too. But that.
But, yeah, now I got like my three core boys also. That's TJ, shout out TJ. Rashawn, shout out Rashawn. And then Shane, Loon. Those my three men from high school. You know, we just kept it rocking ever since. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely had some great experiences there with other people as well. That, you know, I'm still cool with and I talk to, but you know, it's just not, you know, it's not how it used to be.
Nah, because you gotta think like there's certain experiences that you go through, certain things with certain people with that you'll never forget. You know what I'm saying? So with Snoop. My funniest memory with him is just like he knocked this nigga out because he won't give him the key to the bathroom. With Mike is they jumped me and I bit off my watch and threw it at him like, yo, come, let's go get it back. Like with Diddy, we walked in the strike from Prospect Heights to Bed-Stuy. I don't know if y'all know, that's a long ass fucking walk for a young nigga. And with Mello,
shout out to Terrence, man. Shout out to my guy Terrence.
And then with Mello, like I got mad experiences with Mello because that's really like who I got closer with between him and Snoop. But me, him, and Snoop stood against 6 niggas and was getting ready to fight 6 niggas. We didn't even know each other that well. It's just like how we triangled up, ready to go to war. You know what I'm saying? Like
just got
you can't forget that. Yeah, like you can't forget that shit, man. Those my niggas, man.
That's a fact.
See, what I will say is, I wish I had those type of bonds from high school. Cause like the niggas that I was in high school with, we was cool. We had fun. We did our thing, and like we've had fights, we've had brawls, we had things like that. But it wasn't nothing crazy. Like it wasn't like we didn't have those experiences to where like I built like long lasting friendships. Like those will always be my guys. I ever see them or speak to them or whatever. So yo, what's up? How you doing, bro? Whatever, like shit like that. But it's not that. Like those ain't my dudes that I'ma just drop everything for.
Yeah.
And I kind of regret not building those type of relationships, and that was probably due to the fact that I was a floater, because I kind of was cool with everybody. So I was like, I'm not gonna be best friends with everybody.
Yeah. Well,
like because I spent so much time being split between everybody, I never got that close to anybody but Manny.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, that kind of answers my last question. I was gonna ask, if you could do something different in high school, what would you do? But
if I could do something different in high school, is I won't fuck it off, because I realized at the time the experiences that I had, or the resources that I had in high school, and me and Tu talk about this all the time, in his respects to transit and in my respects to the arts. Like, I remember when I came back, I got locked up for the gun shit, and I came back for it, did my little suspension year or whatever. I came back, and the first nigga to put me in a positive situation was my nigga Mello. He had that whole graphic arts lights and shit. And at that time, I'm like, at this point, knee deep in this gang shit. So I'm like in it. So now I don't give a fuck about nothing. I don't care about nothing nobody's saying. You know what I'm saying? And then Mello just said, yo, bro, fuck with me after school. Just move this light. Follow this nigga, the spotlight shit. $20 an hour. I said, the fuck? You serious? He's like, yeah, bro, just do that shit. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. How much you get? He's like, I'm making like 40 because I'm on the light board and I do the catwalk and all that other technical shit. And as time got older, I realized like my moms just started giving me a little more freedom. So I'll say I'm doing that. I'll do it for a little bit, but then I'm sliding. Yeah. And I'm starting to fuck it off. Like these experiences, because a lot of people don't understand, like at that point in high school, you're not understanding like the networking aspect, the networking opportunities that you given. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, put it like this: my boy Tislam, he went to high school. That nigga is one of the like on the verge to being a big choreographer for anything. Like he does Broadway plays. He just did a Cadillac commercial.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. That's your man that do the shows for the plays and all of that you talking about?
Nah, Mello do the shit.
Oh, okay.
But my boy Tislam, he just like I said, he just did the Cadillac commercial. He did a couple Broadway shit. He had his own play going. He was in the Thanksgiving Day. He choreographed the Thanksgiving Day parade. Like, all this shit he's doing now. And to me, he's just like a nigga from high school that I know. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I won't fuck off these networking opportunities that I know now. Like Diddy, the only nigga I'm cool with, Diddy travel all over the world doing art. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of that nigga. And I've been saying from then, like, this nigga's special.
Yeah.
And I ain't stay around because he was special. That's my nigga. Like, I had real shit. Fuck that art shit. We had real opportunities.
Right.
But that's my only thing. Like, I went to a performing arts high school and I ain't got nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
Feel me?
Yeah.
Like, that's my other thing. Like, besides the not really making friends, like the close bond shit, it was the same exact thing. Like, he went there. I went to Transit. Transit, literally, your senior year, the fucking, like, president of the MTA comes to the school, give a whole speech. He go, yo, just come to the front, sign up for whatever. Kids from this school, because MTA sponsored the school. So they like, yo, people from this school get first pick when you take the city test or whatever. You just gotta pass. Yeah. And my mom's pushing, yo, go to college. So I just went to college. I was literally didn't even think about it. I'm not doing that shit. I'm going to school. Which I did, but it was just like, I got like 6 niggas. My man George, my other white nigga Ken, like a bunch of dudes who went to that, who did that. Now I look at where they at in life. Like, shout out to all of them. Those are my guys. I'm proud of y'all. All of them making 6 figures in the MTA right now. My man George just got married, bought his first crib, like house, and I'm like, son, and he went straight to that shit straight out of high school.
That's the only thing, bro. Like,
and I felt like I just didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't take the opportunity that God put right in front of me.
Fucking them off was just crazy.
Yeah, only thing I regret is I probably would have listened to my coach. Even though he did some fuckboy shit, but I probably would have listened to him if I went back. I went to high school. Freshman year, I made the basketball team. Sophomore year, I was on JV. And then at the end of the season, he had a meeting with, like, the basketball team. And he said, basically, he had an issue with, like, one of the AAU coaches for basketball. The school didn't have a summer program. So we wanted to play AAU so we could get better during the summer. He straight up told us, if y'all play, y'all not playing for the school next year. And that had to do with politics and his beef with the other coach. A couple of us didn't listen, including me. And I went and played during the summertime. And then when tryouts came for school the next season, sure enough, we didn't make the team. And, you know, we knew why. Which is fucked up. But the only reason why I would have probably played is because the high school had more exposure. We used to play televised games and stuff like that, so you got a lot of exposure. And a lot of people that I played with, they went on to like play D2 basketball and stuff like that. And that's something that I really wanted to do. So that's the only thing I probably would change, even though it was fucked up in my opinion.
You wanted to play D2 basketball?
Nah, I wanted to play D1. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna be honest, man.
Yo, I'm not doing this with y'all.
For this. You ain't had a hype for this.
I'm not doing this with
like,
y'all.
I don't want to shoot your dreams down.
Nah, not to even shoot your dreams. You could have had like a Rich Kleiman situation, bro, where you could have fucked around and been on the team with a LeBron type nigga.
Facts.
Yeah.
And
carry me there.
Yeah. Cause that's how Maverick and all them niggas was. You feel me? Like, they clearly are not LeBron, but they been around him so much that he fed them so they could feed him.
Exactly. Yeah. I would have been cool with that. But
Nigga, I'd have been cool with that.
you know, now I work at Memorial Sloan Kettering.
You know, you could just keep shouting on our job.
But that sound like another one, man.
Yeah, this is a cool one.
It's a nice, cool
We got
vibe.
one more left for the year.
Yeah, I
That one gonna get crazy. That
we
one
gonna
gonna get
we gonna
crazy.
turn up for that one.
Yeah, I'm
Definitely, we gonna wild out on the last one of the year, but this one was cool. Like, once again, though, we want to hear from y'all. We want to speak to y'all. We want to get y'all input and y'all advice. So if y'all definitely want to talk to us, reach out to us at sohere'sthething.pod at Instagram and SACT Pod on Twitter and Facebook. And if the social media thing ain't your thing, you could definitely hit us up at sohere'sthething@yahoo.com.
Yeah, man. As always, we are available on YouTube if y'all want to see the visuals at So Here's the Thing Podcast. Also, we are on all audio platforms: Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts at So Here's the Thing. And we gonna sign this thing out, y'all. It's your boy Dre.
It's your boy Stizzy.
It's 2. We done with this one.